Hey yo, what's happening? Welcome to Cool Beans TV. My name is Jared. Shout out to all my Korean friends out there. We are making kimchi fried pork. Love this dish. It's a staple in our household. So let's get on with it. It's quick, it's easy. It'll impress anyone. What more do you fucking want? I got me 300 grams plus minus of pork belly. I got a bit of bone in here. Not to worry though, we're just gonna get that out. And then we're gonna cut these into, shout out to all my Americans out there, inch size pieces. I feel like that's a good measurement, an inch, you know? Whether you're rocking 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, I don't judge. But today, we're using them 1 inches. So we're gonna get this bone out, discard of that. And then we're gonna go with a little bit of a cut here. As easy as that. Nice and fatty. You might want this a little bit smaller. You see that thick bastard? I'm gonna do that. We're roughing it out here. You know, in Asian cuisine, there's no measurements. I'm gonna do that for you guys because we might get complaints that people want measurements. So that's fine, but usually when I'm cooking anything Asian, we don't do that shit. You cook with the heart, you cook with feel. That's a lot of Asian philosophy right there. Now we got our pork, I'm gonna put this aside. Now, don't cry about this. I'm gonna be using just a regular old pan just to get the pork frying. Then we're gonna move to the wok later, ladies and gentlemen. Right, get this nice and motherfucking hot. A little bit of a neutral oil. Rightio, how do I look? Get this nice and hot. Now this dish will serve between 2 and 3 people depending on how much you like to eat. But funny enough, it's called kimchi fried pork. There isn't as much pork as you think. In these recipes there's actually more kimchi than there is pork. But I like to add a bit more pork because why the fuck not? That's still going. We're gonna season our pork with salt and white pepper. Oh. Alright, I think this is hot. It's not smoking. We'll get smoking later if you know what I mean. Plant these bitches in here. You do not need to use your hand like me. I am just cool like that. Wow, look at that heat. Oh. Salt these bitches up. White pepper. Alright, this has been going for roughly 6 to 8 minutes. It has been splashing me fucked up. I don't know why I even have a shirt on. I normally fry my bacon with my shirt off in the morning. Woo! We're gonna get this over. It's gonna look good. It's gonna be sexy. We're gonna have a good time here. Yay! Don't get splashed here. Ay! Oh! Oh my god. As you can see, the pork has released a lot of its fat. I didn't add any more fat. This side, I was quite generous with the white pepper on the one side, so I'm not going to put pepper on this side. You understand my thinking? Thank you, I hope you do. Right. Alright, we're going to put this on the side now. Shout out to my main man at Spur. Spur. I don't have paper towels, so I'm just going to use these old serviettes that I got in the drawer. I don't want to annihilate the shit out of these, so this is good. Let that absorb all the oil. Let's put these aside. See what I'm going to do here? Switch to my wok. Get this on high heat. I'm going to season this, which means you're going to put a bit of fat in it, some type of oil, swirl it around, wipe it, so that it doesn't stick. That's what seasoning your wok is. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to use, not all of this, but just some of this fat for my next step. While this is getting hot, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Right here. I'm not going to use a lot of onion. This is quite a small onion. You'd usually go with half, so I'm going to go with, call it 2/3. Put that on the side. You're just going to kind of slice this up. Slice it nice and thin. Just like so, you're gonna break it up. Smoke going in my eyes and burning like shit. I'm gonna use some of this pork fat to season my wok. Just a wee bit. We're gonna get this shit going. Wowza. What you're gonna do is wipe this around. There isn't really much oil to discard. You would usually discard this oil, but I've soaked it all up with my serviette here, my young serviette. Next, add in more of this lovely pork fat. And we're gonna throw in our onion. Important to work on very high heat here. We're not gonna fry this for too long, 1 to 2 minutes. You gotta watch this, this will burn. All right, this onion is going as faster than I would like it, so I'm gonna add my kimchi. 250 grams of kimchi, liquid and all. Hwaba! I'm gonna add a little bit of water, get the juices out. Reduce for a couple of minutes. And then if your kimchi pieces are big, you just take some scissors, you just roughly chop it. There's no rules here, you know. If you want the kimchi hanging down to your nuts, then leave it long. I'm gonna set that down a little bit lower. Then I'm gonna get to my sauce. For my sauce, I'm going to chop up 2 cloves of garlic here. Don't worry about chopping this in any specific way. When it comes to garlic, I like to play around. Sometimes I slice it very thin, sometimes I dice it, sometimes I mince it. You know, this you would ideally want to chop it quite fine, but if you prefer whole pieces of garlic, then that is fine with me. Like so, put that in your little bowl. While I got my chopping board, I'm going to prepare my garnish for the end, which is a couple of these spring onions. I'm just going to use the greens here. These are very thin. I'd usually use around 3, but these are super thin, so I'm going to use, what did I use? 5, let's say. Slice it a little bit of an angle, nice and thin. And away you go. Keep this aside for now. Right, carry on with my sauce over here. I've got my garlic. I've got gochujang, sesame oil, soy sauce, gochugaru, which is a Korean red chili flake or red chili powder, if you will. It's not too spicy, not too bad at all. Yes, we measuring just for the video. It's quite easy. It's equal parts to a lot of these. We're gonna go with 2 tablespoons of our soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of our brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of our gochugaru, and how much? You guessed it, 2 tablespoons of our fucking, God, why is this so hard to open? What the fuck? Alright, 2 tablespoons of gochujang. Next we got 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And that's all we got, folks. Mix that around. And we're gonna add it into our mix here. You don't want this dish to be insanely saucy. You just want it to kind of cover it. So I'm gonna use a little bit of water just to scrape this up. That's looking fabulous. Mix that around. Get the sauce cooking for about 2 minutes. Make sure it's nice and hot. And then we're gonna add our pork back in and we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to get the pork and everything coated in this lovely sauce. You shouldn't have to season it from there. You shouldn't have to taste it and go, ah, fuck, it needs a bit of salt, a bit of piss. It's just ready to rock and roll. Right here. Pork on the floor, pork in the dish. This is sizzling. Want to make sure that pork's nice and hot. Let that go for a minute or 2. Right. That should be good to go. In the meantime, I'm gonna let that rest for a minute so I can toast some sesame seeds for garnish. Pan is hot, so we're gonna toast these sesame seeds. You know, I just think in life, Toasted sesame seeds make everything 10 times better. Time to plate up. I've cooked up some sticky rice on the side. Look at this. Woo! And a bit of those toasted sesame seeds. Now that's what I call a fucking great meal. And last but not least, chow the fuck down. Ooh. Ooh. Insane. Fucking insane. Can't tell you how good this dish is. You're gonna have to make it for yourselves. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Cool Beans TV. Adios.